everyone. I'm just trying to get settled here. Hello. I feel like I have 1 million things to share. We've had a very eventful 6 days. Like, wowzers. All the things. But I really want to talk about. I really want to talk about autism. Hello, everyone. It is Monday. Monday after the 4th. Did anyone else feel like that was a marathon, not a sprint? Holy cow. Lot of time. We are back to, like, I guess, sort of a normal today. Cooper started summer school. So, in our state, in Minnesota, if you have a child with special needs, they can qualify for what's called ESY, which is extended school year. It's essentially summer school. It goes for 3 weeks, Monday to Thursday, 9 to noon. Yeah, that's about right. And it's wonderful and amazing. And I think it's good to get our kids back into routine. It's good for parents to get a little break. I have no expectations for IEP. I just want Cooper to have fun and be with his friends, just like any other kid. And that's what summer school is. I hope there's not too much of an emphasis on learning. I mean, I don't know. The bus was late. The bus was very late. That's normal for the first day. And when it got here, Cooper did great. He waited outside for like 30 minutes. When he, when the bus got here, it was, I would say, two guys like my age, a bus aide and a driver. And Cooper was like on the outside of the bus, like tracing the numbers on the bus. And he wants me to say them. So whatever they were, I don't know what they were. So I'm just gonna make it up. 6, 8, 9. And like, I had to say it like 3 times. And I looked at him as I'm like, is this why you were 30 minutes late? And he's like, yep. Like just the quirkiness of the kids of getting on and takes time. He was, I wouldn't say he wanted to go to school, but I will say he wanted to see his 3 friends, and he was very excited about that. And his one friend, Landon, isn't at his school yet, but will be next year because he's younger. And so having the 3 of them there, they're not in the same class. I wish they were. And I felt a tiny little tinge of grief. I like to always be honest. Cooper has more challenging behaviors, I think, or a different kind of challenging behaviors, we'll say. He isn't able to sit at a desk for long periods of time. He isn't able to do, and it just, I thought they would all be in the same class, and they're not. And it just kind of got me a little bit. Like everything is just so much different. Just different. So we'll see how that goes. Sawyer has 2 hockey camps every day this week. They're like 2 hours apiece. So my wonderful husband is doing the running to those, which, because we all know, like, do you work from the rink or wherever you're at? Because camps are always like 2 hours long, and I think it puts parents in this position like, do you have time to drive home? What do you do? So he's doing that today. I'm so thankful. And then Cooper has OT, and the little ones are at school, at preschool. Everyone's asking about my leg. I am in a lot of pain. I don't think that I have anything torn or broken. I just have a very bad bruise. I had an accident with our boat and our dock on Saturday, and it's really painful. I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm just trying to manage that as well. I can share the story. We know boats. That's kind of our thing. We know boats. We feel comfortable on boats. We follow the rules on boats. We're cautious around boats and water. And my husband was driving a different pontoon. And as we pulled up to the dock for a quick second, he accidentally hit the gas when he meant to put it in reverse. It's a very touchy, throttle or whatever. And I was just gonna hop off and grab the dock, and when he hit the dock, I fell in between, and the boat kind of went back forward and pinned me for like a microsecond. Jamie like lifted me out of the water within seconds and like had me on the dock, but I was in the fetal position, like fetal. And I'll show you the bruise if anyone wants to see it. I'll show you the bruise, but if no one wants to see it, I'm not going to show it. So I was in shock, and I just laid there. I mean, it was probably 10 seconds. I mean, whatever it was, 30 seconds. And he looked at me and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I have seen someone snap their arm between a boat and a jet ski. So my first thought was, did I break my leg? And I just laid there. Show your pain. So I just laid there for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I don't think so." And then our neighbor was there. And she's like, "I'm ready to call 911. Oh my gosh." And I don't like to be embarrassed. I get embarrassed easy, which is probably not easy. So I said, "Stand me up." And Jamie stood me up. And I bet if you had a camera, I like stayed in the fetal position. Like I stayed as he lifted me by like my shirt and stood me up. And I was like instant shock, instant ready to vomit. But the part of the story that I want to share that I think is just funny if you have autism in your life is Cooper always wants my phone. He wants to steal my phone. His goal is to take my phone. It drives me bonkers. He's obsessive about my phone. And when we were on the boat, I said, "You're not having my phone. You're not having it." And I had it like hidden in this, not hidden, but like in this cup holder. And so when I was laying there, Cooper hopped off the boat and he went like this and ran away. And I was like, "Huh, he stole my phone. That little shish kebab stole my phone and ran away." And I was laughing later, Jamie and I were laughing, because like if I was on life support and the last plug-in was my plug-in, he would be like, boop, and like plug in his cell phone. So if I'm ever like at the end, could you please make sure that there is someone else there to like keep me alive? Because it's not going to be Cooper. Oh, kid. Also, I have, I don't know what that means. I think I have this, I'm not even going to share this, but I think I have a Q-tip in my ear. I'm not going to even get into it. But I made an appointment at a Minute Clinic, and I'm going tomorrow. I don't know if it's in there or not. I think it's in there. And I don't want to spend the money to go to the doctor. So I'm going to a Minute Clinic. So I'm waiting it out. I had a rough weekend, injury-wise. I just did. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll show you the bruise. Let's see if I can do it. I'm in a lot of pain. I don't know if it'll show up. Okay, so the front of my leg is where the boat hit. This is actually less of a bruise. It's gonna be hard to see. So, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this. This was the front. This is where I got hit. This one's still coming. Let's see if I can do this. And then I will show you this side. Okay. And I want to tell you, I went tubing after this. I lay down for a hot minute and iced, and then I went tubing because Cooper, I wanted him to tube. And every bump, I thought I was going to die. Okay, so here is my other, this is the weird part. This part right here that's not bruised in the middle, do you see it? This is like a hematoma. It's like super swollen. It's like super swollen and I can't even touch it. It feels kind of like a hard water balloon. And like, I'm a little nervous about it. Like, right here. This part, this is what hurts. Oh. Ow. I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah. It is painful. It's no joke. I don't know what the doctor would do. Like, I feel like, yeah, how do I know if they have to drain it? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I am not a doctor person. I'm not against doctors. I think doctors are great. I think I am not against modern medicine. I just like, oh, Catherine, what's a minute clinic? Okay, so this is a lot of information, but we have really terrible health insurance. Jamie and I are both self employed, so we don't get health insurance through an employer, which means we pay a lot of money. We pay like $1,900 a month for the worst healthcare, for the worst insurance ever. It's a lot of money. It covers like nothing. So basically, every time we go to the doctor for a cold or bring the kids in, it's $150 just to go. That's a lot of money for us. I mean, a lot of money for anyone. So Jamie and I like do everything we can to not go. And that's why I didn't go. I'm like, you would have to like drag my body into urgent care. So a minute clinic is at a like a Walgreens CVS, what's it called? Like a pharmacy, and you can pay cash. So like if the kids ever need like Harbor gets strep a lot, it's like we'll get our strep tests a lot at a minute clinic, and it's like $50 for a strep test. So I couldn't get in today. Is it? It's a firm lump. Yes, it's firm. Okay. So but I guess if I go in, I'm going to get my ear looked at. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I have a Q-tip in my ear. I'm just a wreck. I am just a wreck. So I guess I can mention it at the minute clinic tomorrow. It is hot. Well, it feels hot to me, but I don't know if it's hot I don't know if it's hot to anyone else. Yeah, I don't like to jump to conclusions. Michael, I showed it. I can show it again. I just don't want to go to the doctor for no reason. Um, this is the part that's hard, right? This like circle, oval thing. It's like really hard. So I'm here. Can you check out this huge bruise? Ani, it's like burying the lead. Like, I have this like small lump, and then being like, but I also broke my arm. No, I don't think they'll do anything. Yeah. I'm coming to Minnesota to take you. That's funny. Well, oh God, I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe we'll get it checked out. I'm not confirming or denying what I'm going to do here. I fell and got pinned between the dock and the boat. See if you have virtual visits. Every virtual visit I've ever done, they're like, just come in. Or you know when you call the nurse on call for like, which I love, for anything with your kids, they're always like, I think you should come in. And I'm like, every time. Also, can I share one more health thing? Please know that we are like not, this is so out of the ordinary. So Jamie had a wood tick or a deer tick or something, some tick like in his leg last week. Just wait, listen. He did not get a circle. He did not get a circle around it. Um, he did not get a circle around it. On Thursday and Friday, he had an incredibly high fever, chills, and it was 85 degrees. Aches, joint pain. He couldn't get out of bed at the cabin. We had people over. And I'm like, Jamie, I just Googled Lyme's disease. Do you think that you could have Lyme's? And he's like even less of like a doctor person than I am. And he's like, no. And I like grab my phone and I'm like, well, the top 5 early symptoms are chills, fever, fatigue, joint aches. And he was like, oh no, there's no way. I didn't get the ring. And I was the circle. We took COVID tests. We're not, he doesn't have COVID. I think it's Lyme's. I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad. He is such like an outdoors guy. He's such an avid guy. I mean, I feel bad for anyone, but like, so he's like, how do I get tested? And I was like, I think you just like make an appointment. And he's like, oh, seems like a lot of work. I know, we're like the most ridiculous people. But when you have such terrible insurance, you don't want to go. Like, you don't want to go in. Oh, a tick fever. He probably had tick fever. Is tick fever different than Lyme's? I know. I'm pretty sure it's Lyme's. I feel so bad for him. Like we had friends over, our really good friends, and Jamie's like a tough dude. Like nothing is gonna put him under. It was 85 degrees. He was wearing a hoodie, and he was shaking. And I was like, go lay down. I'm like, go lay down, you cotton-headed ninny mug. Go lay down. And he's like, I know, we have people over here. I'm like, you're not feeling well. So it lasted like, I don't know, it lasted Friday and Saturday. No, wait, Thursday and Friday. Oh, my reception is bad because we're currently experiencing hurricane. Oh. Well, I thought Lyme's was lifelong no matter what. Isn't it lifelong no matter, like, isn't it? Like I mean, you have it forever, right? Like you live with it. And then I thought you just manage the flare-ups. Oh yeah, for the people that I know that have Lyme's, they said that like it's like arthritis, like pain in the joints. Yeah, bummer. Could we do like a 2-for-1? Could we just like go to the doctor and be like, so these things happened all this weekend. There's a Q-tip, Lyme's, and I had a slight fall. They're probably going to be like, we could blame the fall on the Lyme's flare-up. The kids are great. The kids are healthy. They're wonderful. So that's good. Okay, I know that this was a long 19-minute conversation before. Okay. Yeah, I had a really big fall when we moved to the cities. I felt, which would have been like 7 years ago, I fell on like on a picture frame. I know that sounds weird. I fell on a picture frame on my tushy bush, and I was so hurt. It was like the whole cheek bruise. This hurts worse. This hurts worse. Catching it early is the key. You can cure if you catch it early. Oh, I should probably just make him an appointment. We'll get him the quality health care. Okay, so let's talk. I'm not going to go into this too far, but let's hop over to the topic of autism if you have a child with autism. I really talk a lot about I talk a lot about the beautiful parts of autism. I do. And I've been accused of trying to gloss over severe autism. I've been told that I only share the positive. I've been told that I am exaggerating the good. I've been told so many different parts. And I do that because there's a few reasons that I do that. If I dwell in the hard, I'm scared that I won't get out. I'm scared that if I really settle into the heartbreak and the grief that I have, that I won't be able to keep going. Honestly, that is the honest truth. I don't have the voice enhancer on here. I'm on my computer this time. I've never heard of it there ever being a problem with the voice on the computer. I'm just looking to see if I could. No, I can't, guys. Sorry. I'm on my computer, so. So the other part is like, I don't know how to talk about the hard parts. I don't know how to do it with like dignity for Cooper, respect for Cooper, because our hard parts are unbelievable sometimes. And I'm worried that people could be afraid of him. I'm worried that I'm setting up fear around the diagnosis. I'm scared that if I told you a new mom that has a newly diagnosed kid will shut down. I'm scared. I don't know how to do it. Now, in saying all that, we've had a pretty good run. We started Cooper on medication when he was, I wish I had a copy of my book here so anyone new could buy my book. I don't know where it is. We started Cooper on medication around age 9, and we started him on anti-anxiety meds. Hey, Megan. And it was wonderful. It was life-changing for him, and all the worries I had about meds went out the window. They lessened his anxiety. They brought him joy. He was able to enjoy life. Our family was able to breathe. It felt like we were able to leave our house. We stopped walking on eggshells. All these parts. I mean, it was wonderful. And life got crazy busy. We moved to this house. We had another baby. We just started figuring out life. Like we just started. And I was really distracted by having 2 babies. So now Harbor's 5 and when he's 3, but like we started Cooper on meds right after Harbor was born because Cooper's anxiety went to 1,000. He couldn't even function. And so life was good for a while, and Cooper started sleeping, and he started being able to be in our home and move around, and we settled in. And through it all, I've been told to be afraid of puberty. I've been told, and I don't, can I just tell you one of my pet peeves as a mom, as a person, as a human? One of my pet peeves is like when we're doing good and someone's like, just you wait until this, it's going to be terrible. I get that a lot, like in real life and online. Like, I'll share like a nice post and someone's like, just you wait till puberty. It's terrible. And I don't like that. Like, it's like I don't like to do that to people. Like, I wish there was a way to like educate without scaring. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't happen with just autism, it happens with anything. Like, and we do it like when we got a puppy, like people like kept trying to like deter us because like potty training's gonna be terrible, or whatever it may be. Like, it could be anything. I don't like that. It's just like a pet peeve of mine. So one of the things that I do is I like ignore. Like, I like have not been afraid of puberty. I'm serious. I have not. Am I afraid of severe autism growing up? Yep. Am I afraid of dying and leaving this kid without me? Yep. Am I afraid of Cooper being in the community and having a meltdown and the police stepping in and people? Yep, 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 yep. I have not been afraid of puberty. Rachel, well, you had the worry and I did. I'm blindsided. Rachel's my friend. So the other thing I will add, really respectfully, is Cooper is late. He's late. He's 13 and a half, and we're not seeing all the signs. We're not seeing all the signs, we're not seeing them. But what we are starting to see is huge swings of emotion. And so I'm not going to say a name, but my dear friend called me last week. We chatted on the phone, and she's has a daughter who is Cooper's age. And her daughter, I would say, is way more mild-mannered than Cooper, not aggressive. I don't think they've ever had aggression. More property destruction than Cooper, just different. All kids are different. We talked last week, and she said she's like, they're waiting for her to get her first period, and she's like, I've never seen anything like this. She's like, it's like we can't manage this. We give her the wrong toast and she tears apart the house. We do this, it's just meltdown after meltdown after meltdown. And she's like, we can't live like this. Our other kids can't live like this. Like, it was just, and this was last week. And I wasn't feeling the way I'm not feeling now last week. So just to show you how quickly this changes. So, like, last week at some point, Cooper started crying over something on his iPad. And, like, he's not a crier. He, like, started crying. And he showed it to me, and it was a Dora the Explorer episode. And it was a treasure chest, and the treasure chest had spilled open. I know this sounds so bizarre, but he was like sobbing. And I was like, are you sad that the treasure chest spilled? And he was like, yeah. And it was like heartbreak. Like, this had broken his heart. And I was like, well, this is strange. And he cried for like 10 minutes. And never in Cooper's 13 years have I ever heard him or seen him cry over something external. Ever. I'm serious, like in 13 years. Never. I fell off a boat and almost lost my leg. And he was like, like, just not like that. But I have this memory of going through puberty. And does anyone remember the show Benji? There was this scene in Benji where this dog got kicked, and I cried for like a day over this dog. Clearly puberty, right? Swings of emotions. So that was that one isolated incident. So flash forward to Saturday, the day that I fell. Cooper wanted to go swimming. And we were going swimming. We were taking the boat out, and we were going to jump in and swim. He had something in his mind that he wanted to do. He was sitting on the dock. He wanted to swim right there. but it's pretty weedy on the one side. So we wanted to take him out. We wanted to take all the kids out, wear our life jackets, bring the floaties, and jump in, which he loves to do. He started sobbing. And we're like, Cooper, sweetheart, like, we're going swimming. Like, just get on the boat. Like, get on the boat. We're going swimming. He knows, he's done this a million times. Nothing was new about what we were doing. And now Cooper weighs more than me. He weighs not as much as his dad, but I can't move him and his dad can't move him anymore. Not saying that we would physically move him, but like he was sitting there, and I think what I want the world to understand is that when Cooper is exhibiting behaviors, your first instinct is want to scoop them up and bring them inside. It's to scoop them up and protect them. It's to protect them from themselves. It's to protect them from property destruction, from whatever it may be. And you can't move him. So what we experienced multiple times this weekend is this guttural scream. And imagine someone who's 5'4", way bigger than me, sitting on a dock, guttural screaming across a lake. And there were people everywhere because it's the 4th of July. And we're like, sweetheart, get in the boat. We're going swimming. We're going right now. Let's go. All the kids are waiting. And if you take a step towards him, he goes on his back and he sprawls out. And there's no reasoning or touching or grabbing or anything, you know? And you just want to stop. Like, you want them to stop. And they're sad and you want to fix it and you want to help. And there's literally nothing you can do. Now, my husband, I would say, he's more of a fixer. I think men are more fixers by nature. And like, he's like, Cooper, let me help you. Like, get up, honey. Like, I mean, and we're very calm. It's not an act. Like, we have learned to be very calm people. And there were people all around us. And we had this fear where Jamie and I looked at each other and we're like, someone's going to call the police. Someone's going to think that someone's being hurt. Nothing was hurting him. Nothing was hurting him. I know that's where our mind goes. Of course, my mom brain goes there too. Nothing was hurting him. This was like the emotions of a 16-year-old boy with someone that can't speak. Now imagine, like, if you can't speak, you're going to scream. So we got him on the boat and he screamed all the way to the lake. And then we're like, do you want to go swimming? And he's like, yeah. And he jumps in and swims. Had the time of his life. The whole thing from start to finish was probably 20 minutes. And like, when it's over, Jamie and I are like this. Like, what just happened? Like, what just happens? Like, how do we... And I mean, and I like to be really honest. Like, it's heartbreaking for Cooper. That's the first emotion. It's frustrating for our other kids and us. It's exhausting. It's embarrassing. It's worrisome. Like, and like, behavior is communication. What we have to understand is he's having 16-year-old hormone emotions running through him, but doesn't have the cognitive ability to communicate them, to work through them. It's not his fault. There's no fault. There's no fault here. He did nothing wrong. But, I mean, and I will just say, there were some people on the dock next to us that were just getting to know. And it was like they were like laughing. And who knows if they were laughing at us. I mean, but it's like, oh my gosh, like, it's so, there's no help, Dana. Nope, not in this situation. There's no help. No help. This is no help. People do call the police. Rosa is right. People do call the police. This happens. Running this page, I know it happens. I hear about it. So, had a great afternoon. Then that's when I got hurt after that. Went tubing, had a great rest of the day. People do call the police. It's terrifying. So, day went on. And so then this is when the big one happened. We were all sitting on our deck, like just talking. And Cooper's cell phone, and maybe someone can advise on this, is broken. He has a cell phone and he deleted his Apple profile. Jamie's like, I have no idea how he did this. You can't access it. It says Apple ID not found when you try to get into it. He's so frustrated. So Jamie needs we're in the middle of nowhere. He needs hours to get on the phone with Apple, try and figure it out. You can't do that when you're at a lake with 4 children. So I kept giving him my phone to try and appease him, which is frustrating in itself because he deletes my apps and he takes 1,000 photos, but it's fine. We just want to make this work. And so he was sitting there and his phone wasn't working. And normally, this is how I know it's puberty. Normally, he's very, easy to talk to, and, this is something that's come with age. We can redirect, and we can incentivize, and we can reward, and bribe, and encourage, and first, and then, and, all the parts. We really can. And that's just to give hope to parents of younger kids, we really can. So this just kind of caught us completely off guard. So he was sitting at this table and he started to get mad. And it's a ceramic table and he started hitting. And I'm not going to go into all the details because again, I want to be very respectful. But I feel worried and alone and overwhelmed. I just want to know that there's other people walking this path and can we grab hands virtually and can you remind me that I'm going to get through it and can I remind you that you're going to get through it and we can hug virtually. So it was so loud that we knew we needed to get him inside. And so Cooper's smart. Jamie took a step towards him to help him inside, and he did his typical thing and dropped to the ground and we call it the crappie flop and laid out. And he started screaming. And he does not understand. He doesn't. So it's not his fault. It's not his fault. There's no fault. There's no blame. There just is. And so these screams were echoing across the lake and we just try to sit there with him and we put the other kids inside and we're just trying to get him inside, and it's I don't know, from here to there, it took us a long time to get him inside and we were just scared that we knew people could hear and we're not hurting this boy. We're not doing anything. We're just trying to help him. He's hurting, but so we got him inside and we just saw things that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen in years. And if you read my book, we did go through aggression. We did. And it was a lot different because he was so small. He's bigger than me now. And so, we had a broken lamp. And then that was hard. And he felt so bad after. And he just sobbed. He kind of got Jamie in the face. And he has never, he's never done that to Jamie before. And my husband's he's big. And it caught him off guard. And I just had to chuckle because the first thing he did, he's it stunned him. If you imagine stunning someone It like didn't hurt him. It like stunned him because like Cooper was just like back up, back up. Jamie was too close. And I looked at Jamie and I'm like, oh my God, like take a break. So we kind of like tap in. So then it was my turn. He took a break. And then it was my turn. And I was able to get him in the shower. And that usually always helps him. Like it always helps him. I got him in the shower and he just sobbed. He could not stop sobbing. And I would give anything to take his pain away. I would give anything to fix it. I would give anything to help it. And we haven't used rescue meds in a long time. I don't know if you guys know about rescue meds. I never did until we started medications. Rescue meds are, it's like a PRN. It's called PRN, rescue. I guess, is that what it's called? Um, we don't have them anymore. Our rescue med's always been clonidine. And we've only had to do it a couple times in his life, but we don't like to do it because it makes him groggy. But I have to always remind myself that to feel like that, he does not feel well. Yeah, PRN. Thank you, Shelby. He does not feel well. And so he needs help. We didn't have any. So we got him in the shower. I got him in the shower. I bathed them. And then he sat in the bedroom for a while and he just cried. He just cried. He was heartbroken. And then it's done. Just like that. It was probably his longest, it was probably about 35 minutes. It was his longest ever in his life. So we're very lucky in that. Some autistic individuals have, meltdowns for, I want to make sure my phone's on. Cooper's at school. Have meltdowns for hours. And I know some autistic individuals that have meltdowns for 8 hours, 10 hours. We're lucky. So I want to be clear, we're lucky. But this one was his most emotional. When it was over, we just like sat there. Someone asked about our other kids. That's a topic that I get into more on the supporter page. So again, if this conversation resonates with you, I'm going to be talking about this at length. If you want to talk about puberty, click that link and come join. I'm in it. We're in it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to brainstorm. I'm going to get into the details. Come join that group. I do lives a lot over there. I don't like to talk about the sibling part as much because I feel like people like take on these different camps and they're like, your other children are suffering. My other children are not suffering. But Winnie is she's 3 and she's so in love with Cooper and she's a mama bear and she kept hugging him. And he just took her hugs. He loves his, she's like an eighth of his size. She's just a peanut. And she just kept hugging him. The thing is, someone mentioned a family plan. We haven't had a family plan since Cooper was 8, so there's a family safety plan. That's in my book too. We had to set up a family safety plan when Cooper was 8, and when he wasn't born yet, it was just Harbor. And our safety plan was that Sawyer would take Harbor and go in my office and lock the door. It broke my heart into a million pieces to have to create that and write that down. I felt shamed. I didn't talk about it, except in my supporter group. One of the beautiful things that I learned, have you guys heard of the stoplight method? So we've never had to do this, but I just thought this was amazing. To have a room or a house or an area where this could happen, and you put a color on the outside of like a door, and if it's safe, we do green, and most time it's green. If it's don't come in, it's red. And so your other children, like let's just say, we never had to do this, but I thought this was a beautiful idea. Let's just say your kids were getting off the bus and brother was having a meltdown inside. You would put a red, stoplight on the outside piece of paper and have a box set up with snacks and iPads or whatever. I'm just making all this up, but talk to your therapists about safety plans. We'll probably have to make another one depending where this goes. it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. And so we're in it now. We're in it. Jamie and I had a conversation for about an hour over a drink last night about managing this. You know, do we have to look at a med change? Do we have to, will he be able to go to school next year? What does this look like? And I remind myself that we're not the first family to go through this. We're not the first kid. I'm scared for him. I'm worried. I feel guilt. I feel grief. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Sorry. I don't want to. I just want to skip over it. I've heard the other side of puberty is like phenomenal. I've heard that from so many friends that the other side is just great. You just have to get there. I don't know. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to go pick up Cooper now. We're going to get ready for occupational therapy. Subscribers, I'll be live tonight on the page. We're starting some meds to help Cooper manage his weight. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. Thank you all for being here. Support with the bruise and the ear and the Lyme's disease. And for any parents of newly diagnosed kids, it's still good. Cooper's still amazing. He's still a wonderful boy. He's still so loved. He's phenomenal. We're still happy. So please know that. I will never say, so like, you know, on Saturday, we had a hard hour. We didn't have an awful day. We had a hard hour. And that's been a mind shift for me. So I used to be like, yesterday was terrible. And now I'm like, that was a really awful hour and it was bad. But we came back. So, okay, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to put a link to my book in here and then my supporter page too. Click that link and come join. So, okay. Bye, guys.